filling up the tank with water. This little guy right here cost me $29.99 just today in August of 2022. It cost me $19 in the spring. That means it's gone up 10 bucks in just a few months. That's Genevieve. Hi, Genevieve joins Crossbow Appreciation Month. I've got the Hulkster bandana on, and we're going to do some food plottery. Are you excited about that?
Yeah,
Kinda.
actually.
Yeah, she is not dressed for food plottery.
I don't want to get sunburned.
I know, but you can wear non-black clothes. White is the only way to go when working outside. That's what I say. But anyway, she's going to be begging me for a Hulkster bandana by the end of this little outing.
I won't.
Well, I'm just giving her a tour though. We're on the way down to the food plot where we're doing the work, and I was just showing her this stuff, and we'll swing you around. Look down there, I'm giving you a tour.
Yeah.
That's where the blind is going to be. We're up by the house now. The blind's going to be in those trees right down there, and you can see there's a nice little path going all the way down to where I've driven. I've only driven on that once, trying to keep the brush up a little bit. We want the brush to stay up, but I think down there is going to be pretty sweet. Also got another path that wraps around there. Now let's see if we can drive forward a little bit. So what happens is we got this little wraparound path. I got the truck in the four-wheel drive. It's nice to have a truck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember when we used to drag this stuff in here on the sled?
Yeah, that was not fun.
No, it's not the most fun, that's for sure, but it certainly was functional, certainly worked. But I got a good path in here where we can drive through, and we keep the grass down. Then we can walk on this path later. We don't even need a brush hog. It'd be nice to have a brush hog go through here. But see, we're just walking around. We're not actually going all that far. You can see the screen that this autumn olive provides. Look at that. Look how thick and tall that is. Now, I don't want this much autumn olive, and I was telling Genevieve, over time I'm going to have to go through here and selectively hack and squirt a lot of these. If you look, some of them do have berries, though, and the birds do eat the berries. So this isn't a completely awful. Those are berries right there, little red berries. They also are, I looked it up, they're actually edible by humans. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I tasted them. They're not entirely awful.
How would you rank them among mountain ash berries?
They are very comparable. Isn't that funny? Mountain ash
weird.
berries. It's funny that you remember that. Mountain ash berries are something we talk about in my book.
Yep.
The Death by Bunjie Crossbow Method. She helped edit and read and proofread that book. So hopefully, if there's any mistakes in it, it's her fault. But it's a pretty good book, though, I think. But the mountain ash berries were something that I encountered on my hunts up in Maine with Bunjie, looking for a black bear, and it was pretty neat, actually. And these are very comparable berry, if I had to say. I mean,
That is neat.
They probably have like vitamin C and other good things too. So we're down at the little orchard. Let's turn the truck around and see what we got for the success of the glyphosate, right? The spraying of the food plot. You excited about that?
Yeah.
See how that works. Yeah. Always an encouraging sign that the deer have been in here. That's great news. But also encouraging is the fact that the glyphosate worked. Look at that. This is the shape of the new food plot. The orchard food plot. Ooh. Out in there. We'll take a little tour here. But that glyphosate, the second round was definitely a good idea. But that multiflora rose thinks it's Roundup resistant, thinks it's going to survive this. I got news for it. It will not survive. It will not. Finally hit all my goldenrod, apparently. Still got some standing milkweed. Very nice, very nice. And the plot will wrap around up there. Genevieve, remember all this orchard, do you? Behind Genevieve is the frostbite. Yes, you remember planting them. Yep. Yeah, you did a little tour here back when the other orchard was still alive. Yep. Before I let that fall apart. We got the truck going, all loaded up. We've got, going in reverse order, Golden Delicious, Empire, and Cortland. Woohoo! Early season, moving on to the later season, and a November dropper right there. Might be able to hunt over those, Genevieve. What I'm thinking of doing, down here, there's this little clearing inside the autumn olive.
Conveniently blind shaped.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Conveniently blind-shaped clearing, Genevieve says. Come on down here and see if you like this. You'd be sitting here looking out at your food plot. What do you think of that?
That's a pretty good idea.
Right about blind level. And you're secluded from the house. You can just tell the house is up there, but the deer will feel good. They'll be out in there feeding. They'll come up this hedgerow behind us right across here, and you'll be able to hear them sort of walking through there and sense that something's going on, and then wait and anticipate them popping out into the opening where we can shoot them. We can also stick the blind over on this side and shoot out. If I cut a hole in it, there's apple trees here, and if I get activity on that, there is a camera over there now, and if we got pictures on that, kiddo, then perhaps we will Is the camera still standing up? I thought I fixed it. There it is. There's the camera right up in there. So we'll right up there behind the Empire apple tree, facing it actually, because there's a lot of apples on that tree. So I'm wondering if they're going to come in here. If that starts to get activity, then we'll hack out some of this autumn olive and get a shooting lane there too. I don't see any that look, I don't know how ripe they're supposed to be, but but here's a couple of red ones. We'll eat those maybe. But there's the berries. So they're not too bad. I've had them before. They're a little tart. They're very tart actually, but there's no pits. Kind of nice. No pits or anything like that. I've had worse, and I'm telling you.
Pennsylvania mountain ash berries.
Genevieve declined to have any of the autumn olive berries, but whatever. To each her own, I guess, right? So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to go through with the scythe first. Take great care not to hurt our milkweed, right? Any of it. We got quite a few of them standing here as we go through. I didn't hit the butterfly milkweed right here, so that's good. I'll hit right around this. I'm going to whack all this out of here, clean it up, and have the food plot down there as well. Saving the milkweeds, of course. We want them to be happy. We'll worry about the fertilizer and the seed as we go through. And then next weekend, we're going to look at shooting lanes to see about putting the blind back in there and how that's going to work.
Do it.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the scythe by getting rid of this multi-floor rows. I have been looking forward to this. Gone. Look at that. That is the scythe in action. You ready? So then we're just going to go through and swing, pull it right down the hill, knocking them down, go through and do all this, work my way around, and we'll get it done. Just moving the thickest of it off. The rest of this stuff, I don't think she's going to need to stand any of this up with the rake or anything. We brought a rake just in case, but I don't think it needs to be raked. All this stuff is dead. So when we throw the seed on, then we walk all over it to put the fertilizer down. It's all going to have that seed to soil contact. Got Genevieve working the scythe a little bit. That was supposed to be my job, but it's a two-man job apparently. But I found this old remnant. Look at that. This is an old stake that I was staking down cages with back in the day. And it fell down, pretty weathered. I'm going to throw that over there where our blind goes. Maybe use it for another stake down the road. Who knows? Looks like it'll still go in the ground a little bit and hold the cage up. They're a little early. Alright, I am beat. I know Genevieve is beat. We have worked hard, very hard. And I think it'll be worth it. So what we got, Genevieve is spreading the remainder of the fertilizer on the other plot. But we went through with the scythe, took turns knocking all that down, took it off with a pitchfork. We got a nice food plot here, feeding out into another little food plot over there. And if we weren't shooting directly at each other, we probably could both hunt here. But it's really a morning and evening setup with two different stand options, two different blind opportunities. It is a lot of work, but we got 100 pounds of fertilizer on top of 2 bags of seed in this whole plot. So something ought to grow here. There's a good chance that what we planted, not all that's going to take root because you got a lot of grass on top there, right? But the thing is that grass is continuing to die, continuing to decay, and it will provide some mulching cover for the existing seed bed, right? We got rains coming, 3 days of predicted rains with 25% or above likelihood of rain. And if we get some good pounding storms, it'll push that seed down in, wet the seed, push it down to the soil. This stuff, it's throw and grow. It's ryegrass. It grows on a stump. I know because I've done it, right? Stuff grows on a sidewalk. I think it'll grow just fine, right? This will provide a cover. The seeds will make their way down with the rains and stuff, make their way down into the bottom of all that. This stuff will continue to rot down, provide cover, hold the moisture in, and let those seeds pop up through it. And as they grow, this stuff continues to rot down, and the grass, the ryegrass, pops up through. You can see where I broadcast all my hand broadcast all my fertilizer, but not the cleanest job. But I suspect we're going to have a nice food plot feeding right out through there. Can't wait. Got a wreck here.
Yeah.
Pretty rough ground.
Man, I got red.
Yeah, you got way too much sun. You got to think about that next time. Got to have hats, long sleeve white shirts.
Okay.
And we'll be in good shape. So you got to come prepared for this stuff. You see if we can get out of here. We'll try not to drive in the same part of the lawn every time, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I think it went pretty good. What do you think?
I think so.
I think we're going to have ourselves a little food plot.
Well, it'll be green.
It'll be green. And the neat thing about that, even if it is a situation where there's lots of weeds and stuff, I'm thinking that if there's weeds, even if the weeds grow back, the deer might eat the weeds if it's fresh young growth over the next month or so. By the time the season starts, you got some of what we planted plus some weeds. It's going to be more than what they're getting in the field. It's going to be more than what they're getting in the woods here. So it's going to attract some deer. I think we got a good shot.
I think so.
What do you say to that?
That's a good plan.
Say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Until next time, until Genevieve's next appearance on Foodplot Friday or on Crossbow Appreciation Month or in some other capacity, all hail Bunjie.